Out of a maritime hub, one man steps out of his imagination and into your reality. You are watching TDC Moncton.
Hello folks, it's Nick and Mitch. We've just come back from watching Pirhannas 3D, and a few warnings. One, if you don't like gore, don't go see it. Two, if you have sensitivities about nudity, especially women, don't go see it.
The movie is done by Eli Roth, so if you know his previous work, okay, you know what to expect.
Yes. Now, kudos to Levi Roth to actually have done...
Eli Roth.
Eli?
It's not a James company.
Okay, Levi. Sorry, I just bitched his name. Eli Roth has shown his quite capable understanding of horror schlock with this particular one. The fact that he actually managed to get Richard Dreyfuss to have a bit part in it. Also have...
bit part, that's a bad play on this movie.
Yeah, especially because it's Pirhannas.
All to leave is bits.
Yes. So we can say bits part. The fact that he had Christopher Lloyd appearing in it, also as a bit part more or less. Who else did he have?
Besides himself.
Besides himself. He was in it like usual, and he has one stupendous death. I'll put the link of the artists that were cast into it down below. The entire movie was shot in Arizona on a lake that I have no idea how to pronounce it. And I'm about to say Vuvuzela, but I know it's not Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela?
Vuvuzela? Maybe Zvuvula? Anyway.
Actually, Vuvuzela is those freaking horns they use in soccer.
Vuvuzela, yeah.
It's not it.
So anyways, Pirhannas, they hunt in packs, and they're ravenous when they decide to become enraged by bloodlust.
But they do not like silicone implants, apparently.
Yes. And we're not giving you any more bits about that because you'll have to see the movie. It's actually a fun movie to go see. Me and Mitch walked into it with an expectation of us possibly being the schlockiest movie ever, to the point of being so cheesy that it would have...
To be honest, at the very beginning when we were looking at the scenery with the 3D, where it's like layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, it's like, oh god, this could be horrible. But it gets better.
It does. That's the fun thing. Oh, Ving Rhames is also in it, and guess what? They put him in the role as a sheriff. So again...
No, sheriff's deputy. Elisabeth Shue is the sheriff.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, as a sheriff's deputy. Elisabeth Shue is the sheriff. She does look...
And she looks very hot in this movie.
She does.
Very toned.
And there's also the seismologist, the guy that got... he got a weird ending. So unfortunately, the movie itself is very bloody. Apart from being very bloody, it also has not dark humor, but actually some adult humor tied into it.
Lots of adult humor tied into it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I'll say, well, not lots, but enough. Because they're compared to some other movies that we've seen that have humor that's meant for adults, this one doesn't really have that much. But it has enough to keep you interested, and there's no real drowning moments, pardon the pun, but literally there's no slow
it's not
bits.
Boring. It doesn't leave you boring.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't leave you saying, I've just spent my money on something that will not bring me any enjoyment. Yeah, actually, we left the theater with a thoroughly satisfied point of view on the movie. It's think of it as Jaws reduced to bite-sized morsels equivalent to its size, except there's no mechanical fish, and it's actually better produced with the technology today due to the fact that they've used all the best effects in 3Ds without going overboard, and giving us something that's
yeah.
At
And to
least
be honest, I am really
quality.
sick and tired of 3D, but it did work for this film.
Yep. So 3D for this.
Let's see the boobage. You'll know what I mean when you see it.
Unfortunately, there is lots of boobage, and being men as we are, being interested in
we like boobage.
The women, well, can't complain. So, for all men and women who want to go see this movie, go see it for the schlock factor. It's actually quite fun. It's Eli's best piece of work so far, compared to Hostel 1 and Hostel 2. It's not as literally gory, but you'll enjoy it nonetheless. Very.
Yeah, and there's just one scene that I keep thinking back of and laughing. You know what I mean when you see it.
Yeah. Jerry O'Connell, I think, is that actor's name.
I think so. He's the one from Sliders.
Yeah, the main character from Sliders. If you've ever watched that movie, he has.
It's not a movie. It was a TV series.
Sorry,
back in
TV
the
series.
90s.
Sci-fi flick.
Well,
Jonathan Rhys-Davies.
Yeah, it was a sci-fi flick where they were sliding.
Or John
They were
Rhys-Davies.
called it sliding, but they did have a timer set on this remote control, and they'd every X number of minutes or hours, whatever he pre-programmed before he slid into the other reality. They'd go from one alternate universe to another, trying to get back home, but they didn't know how to get there, so it just kept on going.
Yep, and they met their alters in other universes. But this universe, compared to the other universe, was never equivalently the same. Sometimes malignant, sometimes benign, and sometimes just plain weird. So, without saying more about that subject, Pirhannas 3D, actually better than expected. It's a pity that
it's worth to watch.
It's a pity that because we went to the first showing, we were 3 inside the theaters because people have that expectation that this is going to be a schlocky movie, and it shouldn't be seen. But it's not schlocky in the sense of being poor, badly done, badly acted. Actually, the acting was surprisingly well done. So
Yeah, there wasn't any cheesy, oh, your acting sucks.
yeah. Well, compared to was it The Last Avatar?
Yeah.
The Last Airbender?
Yeah,
The acting was much better in this than it was in The Last Airbender.
Oh my! Piranhas! Get out of the water!
If only that kid could have been in this movie, we would have all laughed to his death.
I'm the last airbender. I will save you.
And thus ends the saga of The Last Airbender. Folks, go see it. Or at least wait for it for a rental. It's probably going to be out in time for Halloween if they're smart on their marketing.
Very likely, because from August to start of November is when they seem to put out all the best horror films.
Good.
The whole Halloween season is horror film fest.
Yes. So, rent it or go see it. We went to see it. We're not going to see it a second time in theaters. Possibly rent it again if we decide to. But
we don't regret seeing it.
No, not at all. So, from Mitch and me, have a nice one.
Doodly-doo.